How's it going, everybody? So basically, here's the rooftop tent halfway done. I mean, I've got the whole frame built, everything. Here's the, I went with the OTUAYAUTO polyester, I guess. It was only $5 per yard, so it was a little bit cheaper than, like, say, like the Hex 70, you know, the other tent maker guys who are using. That's like $8.50 a yard, so I figured it's pretty nice material though, and it's the 8.5 or 8.7 ounces, so it's pretty heavy duty. It's like a light, it's kind of like a light canvas. Number 10 zippers. So I'm just about to cut out the whole, you know, the sides after I marked it with the chalk pen. 11 yards is way too much. I used birch. I used birch finished veneer plywood, 1/2 inch with I did the 1x4 method, so I had 1x4s with 1x3s. So I did 1x4s on the bottom to make that 3/4 inch gap for the weather seal, and then I cut off the excess on the bottom. And for the most part, my table saw sucks, so there you go on that. And I didn't have a chop saw either, so I did it with nothing but a skill saw. And then I used a piece of like 5mm birch veneer plywood on top, so I'll keep it lightweight. It only weighs like 90 pounds, so I think with the canvas or with the ripstop OTUAYAUTO 8.7 ounce per square yard, I mean, it should be probably about, I'm thinking with the mattress, probably about 100 pounds, maybe with the mattress, because 11 yards of this material was like 6 pounds, and I'm only going to use 8, so I figure, say 5 pounds, and then another few pounds for the bed. I got like a 4-inch, just a 4-inch mattress basically to put in there. But I made it smaller than a normal tent to make it lighter. It's only like 6'2" long by like 45 inches wide. So I ripped the plywood. So it's basically like, I think it's 75 inches by 43 inches inside, but 45 on the outside diameter. I mean, and being on top of I have an old 4Runner that it's going on top of, which is more, it's a narrow truck compared to, you know, like the newer vehicles. So I kind of built it around me and around the width of the truck. I didn't want it to be humongous on top because the truck already sucks on gas. And I'm gonna leave it like probably a couple inches or so for the zippers. So once you sew in the zippers, you're gonna lose some material. And then even if you have a little slop here at the very end, you can pull it. You can definitely pull it to adjust it a little bit, I think. Something, you know, the chalk pencil, man. I just went to Joann's. They want like $9 for a chalk pen. What the hell? The chalk pencil was like $2, $3 or something. My God. Joann's. It's a nice store, but it's very expensive. So basically today we're gonna get this thing cut and try to just get it to the point where it's fitted. I'm not going to be getting to the zippers for quite a while. And then I've also got no seam. I got 2 zippers. So, I mean, it's going to be no seam on one, and then, you know, so it's going to be 4 zippers in the front. So I have this huge no seam net right here. I finally finished the rooftop tent after 40 hours. Here it is open for the first time. First time open after closing the lid, after putting the lathe screws in. no-seam netting in there. So you can see I put 2 zippers. So this attaches to the inside zipper, and then this is the outer zipper with a little hat too. This guy here. I'm not going to put any side windows or anything. I like it like that. It's done. We've topped it. Probably about, I don't know how much it costs. Costs a lot of labor. I just wanted to do a little closer view of the tent now that it's completely done, basically. I think the only thing I'm missing is the bungee cord to go around the tent when you close it. So I'll try to show you up close what's out there. We'll just start here. 1/2-inch Lathe screws, you know, all the way around with that 3/4 inch cap. All the way around. I got the buckles on Amazon. And 1x4s, you know, on the outside and the inside. I put 1x3s up here, and so the bottom piece is a piece of 1/2-inch birch veneer plywood, so it's kind of like a cabinet grade plywood, and then the top is like another cabinet grade type plywood. It's only 5 millimeters though. So it makes it a little bit lighter weight, you know, and it's been screwed and glued all the way around, you know, so it's really, really strong with Gorilla Glue, wood Gorilla Glue. Let's see. And so I put the double zippers in. It's hard to do with one hand, because those big old 10 zippers are huge. So I'll probably put like a Velcro strap up here so you can roll this up. But for now, let's just flip it up there. And when I did the no-seam, because this stuff is pretty hard to work with, I got fucking dog hair on there. Oh, almost ripped it. I got dog hair all over this thing, huh? I put strips of the material as best I could all the way around the no-seam to give it some support, some structure, because this stuff is, when you sew this no-seam, it kind of bunches up if you don't have this support here. And if you put the material too close to the zipper, it'll hang up a little bit, but over time, if you have that problem, which I do have that in a couple spots, but it's, you know, pretty clean looking, but it is really close to the edge of that. But that was the first time I've done that, so it was kind of a learning experience. But and did the seam here, or the hem here, blind hem, whatever you want to call it, so you can't see the edge of the material. And I did sew it to the top of the cover here, so it's all one piece at the top. I thought about, not doing that so I could actually take the no-seam out if I wanted to, but I just roll it up and it'll be fine. And let's see what else. I'm not going to put any windows or zippers on the sides. I just kind of like it the way that is. The only thing is, I'm going to have to figure out a way. I've got the hooks in there, but I really need to figure out the best way to hook that bungee around. The other thing I did was I bought a 4-foot piano hinge and cut it down, and I put the Lathe screws. These are 3/4 inch though, Lathe screws, not 1/2 inch. So they're 3/4, and those Lathe screws are about $8 a box, so they're not cheap, and they're nice screws. I used to use them when I used to do metal framing back in the day. So let's see. I guess that's it from about the outside as far as I can tell. On the underneath, I did put some stringers, like here for when I put the U-bolts in, and my rack has a slight curve, so that I just put them on the outer edges, and then I put a big piece of plywood in the middle to give it a little bit more support. It's glued and clamped. I didn't screw that part because with the Gorilla Glue it's plenty fine. I didn't want to put any screws possibly through the wood floor, because if you come inside here, I got the U-bolts with the brackets, so they're ready to go. I couldn't find those at Lowe's. I had to get them at a bolt place. So you can see like the bottom and how I did the shocks. I mean, the shocks are a little tricky, and they are those ones that I think Patrick Remington used, and some other tent builders that you buy on Amazon for $20, the two of them. They're 80 foot-pounds, and they are like, they almost want to rip the box apart if you're not, if you don't build it properly. That's how strong those shocks are. I mean, they try to rip the back end. I don't know if you watched the one guy who built it with a living hinge, and the living hinge was kind of getting tweaked until he put a backer plate on the inside, because those shocks just push the bottom piece just out basically when you close it. So it's screwed and glued in here, and I didn't do any finishing in here because I just like it the way it is, like with wood. So it's all painted white on the outside, but it's just all natural wood on the inside. And it's got a nice grain on that wood. And I just put a 1x4 across there. I didn't have another one, so I just used this crap piece there. And the seams aren't perfect. A little higher on this side than it is on this side. It's to be expected, especially when you've never built one before. So I've got the hooks down here for the bungees and all that. I'm probably going to put some of that aluminum foil looking stuff for your windshield for the sun protection under here, and I don't know about up top, but definitely underneath me, or some sort of a moisture pad, like a condensation pad. But those things are pretty expensive, and so we'll just have to experiment with that. But overall, it's when you close it, you definitely need to leave the door open a little bit because of the air. And you can see how when I close this thing, it's just like, wow. It's so powerful. Oh, it's so powerful. All that. That's why you need the bungee so bad. Because when that shit's on top of the truck and you try to tuck it in, good luck. Because this thing is just shoot open. But you can see, even with the 4-inch mattress, fits no problem. Even with the sleeping bag in there, I guarantee you I still have an inch or so at least, if not 2 inches. I have like this much space to put the sleeping bag. Probably won't be able to fit a couple pillows in there, but that's okay. That was a little bit of a mistake here. I did the handle backwards there. But I was thinking I'd put another piece of material here or something to, because it kind of needs like magnets or something there. Maybe I got a little double-sided tape on there, which is actually kind of works fine if you get your hand in there. I don't know when you're on the inside. But anyways, little things like that you can figure out later on. I will say too, the Lathe screws, don't use those Lathe screws when you screw in the shocks and when you screw in your brackets, your buckles, because the Lathe screws, they'll work up here on the catch, but they're not going to, if you have those latches tight, it'll rip that shit right out. Especially on the shocks, because the shocks look nice with the Lathe screws, but I had to use like inch whatever long screws and wood screws. and epoxy on the block that it's mounted to. And I did fill, I filled all the holes and all that. And I put a coat of Kills primer on the whole thing, 2 coats, and then I painted it just with a regular house paint white, or exterior house paint white. Yeah, and that's about it. So probably gonna mount it on the truck tomorrow and do some wild camping on top of my 4Runner. So thanks for checking it out. Hope this helps you a little bit. If you have questions, you can always ask me. I don't have very many subscribers, so if you ask me a question, I'll pretty much just answer you right away. A lot of people ask me questions about the mountain board, and you might have some questions about this or whatever. But I really like the roof nest ones, but I sure as hell don't want to pay $3,500 for one. And I got to be honest with you, this is probably pretty sweet. When there's a guy down the road here that's got one of those things on his Toyota pickup truck, and he saw me building this. He waved, but feels pretty good though. $500, 40 hours, maybe $400 or $500, and you got to have a sewing machine. Obviously, I was lucky and had the Brother 7000 sewing machine, which did a good job. My stitch lines are like a drunk driver, but that's all right. You can always, that's the beauty of it. At least the frame is built and tough and ready to go. If you ever want to replace this stuff with like the Hex 70 or something, or a canvas, it wouldn't be that difficult. And after you build one, you'll have the screws and the tools and things that you need to build it, and more experience. So when you run into issues on the first one, you'll know what to do on the second one. So I thought about selling this one before I even mounted it to the truck. You could just sell it like this with the U-bolts, mount it yourself. But I don't know, because I wouldn't mind building another one, just because that's what I do. But I build stuff. But thanks for watching.